what's up? Welcome to Wine School. I'm Mike. With me as always, Eric. Our special guest today, we got Daniel and Glenn. What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us. Today's Wine School is brought to you by Custom Whey. So if you're interested in checking out the newest hit way of eating protein, check them out, customwhey.com. All right, today we're talking about Sauternes. All right. One of the most expensive wines in the world, by the way.
And you picked me to help?
I did. So, the way that Sauternes are made follows a very interesting and complicated process. And what happens is the grapes rot. Sounds pretty crazy, right?
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. So, there is a special kind of fungus called Botrytis.
Oh, it's getting better all the time.
Yeah, and Botrytis attacks grapes under certain conditions. The weather has to be right, the fog has to be right. But if you have those certain conditions, the grapes start to develop this fungus all over.
This is gonna be
awesome. Yeah. It sounds crazy. And actually, so the legend is that these guys back many years ago, were subsisting harvest to harvest, and one harvest everything rotted, and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna do it anyways. And they tried it later.
We don't want to throw it away.
Exactly. What else are you gonna do? I don't want to do it anyways. And they tried it. And they're like, this is fantastic. How do we make this again? So anyway, the idea of having a little bit of botrytis on your grapes will give it a certain characteristic, and lots of white wines actually have just a little bit. Because it's not uncommon. If you're in a foggy area, you get a little bit of botrytis on the grapes, and then when you ferment it, you'll get a little bit of that flavor in it. Sauternes, on the other hand, that's all they do. And so some of the best Sauternes in the world, they won't even make it unless there's enough fungus on the grapes that year.
Oh, this is getting better and better.
So here's the way it works. Fungus attacks the grapes, extracts all the water from the grapes. And what you're left with is the sugar in the grapes and the grape solids, and of course the fungus. And then you take it and you press it and you ferment it. Now the challenge is think about when you have like a piece of moldy bread or rotting fruit or something. It starts on one side, it kind of goes through it, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a bunch of grapes. It's not like the fungus attacks it all at once. It sort of starts and grows. So the way that they have to make the Sauternes is they go through the vineyards and they pick grape by grape. So imagine, that's some guy's job, right? He's going through and picking one moldy grape at a time.
Do they measure, like they got a little mold gauge and they walk up and go, yeah, that one,
no,
that's a winner.
It's
right
judgment. It's
a personal judgment.
Picker's judgment.
Yeah.
Experience.
It's picker's opinion.
And they actually will make multiple trips through the vineyard over multiple days or even weeks. Those are called triers in France. They're going through and they're picking literally one grape at a time. Now, the next thing that happens is the grape that you end up with is very shriveled. And so you press it and you get this really sort of thick, syrupy must.
And like a raisin kind of shrivel?
Yeah, kind of. Okay. Yeah, like a moldy raisin or a fungusy raisin.
Sounds delicious.
And so it's incredibly difficult to get fermenting and keep fermenting. So a lot of times the fermentation process for a Sauternes will take like a year, whereas for other wines it might take a couple days or a week or 2 weeks or whatever. For a Sauternes it'll take like a year. So you pick one grape at a time, you squeeze it, you get a little teeny tiny bit of juice out of it, and then it takes forever to ferment it. So they say that sometimes one grapevine in Sauternes will yield one glass of wine. Like, wow. That's how difficult it is.
Wow.
And so it is ridiculously expensive, and especially the best Sauternes, Chateau Yquem, which is widely regarded to be the best, is one of the most delicious wines you'll ever have in your life. And it's absurdly expensive. But if you ever get the chance to try it, strongly encourage you jump on it. Anyways, so this is a Sauternes. It's a dessert wine. It's very sweet. It's going to go well with sweet foods, desserts, and certain types of cheeses as well.
Quick question. So would this be kind of like, I remember hearing in a previous episode about the ice wine? Did they do something similar with that?
Very similar to the ice wine, but essentially what you're talking about is different ways of taking the water out of the grapes.
Got it.
So
Okay.
ice wine, you're freezing it out. With Sauternes, you're fungusing it out.
Fungusing it out.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Must be so much better.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough,
Never had this before, by the way.
Botrytis process will add a certain extra flavor characteristic that you won't get in an ice wine. And you'll get some, well, it'll be interesting. Let's drink it. Let's see what you guys get off of it.
All right. Syrupy. Very syrupy.
You get a little sugar on it too?
Well, just a hint of sugar.
This goes great on pancakes.
Yeah, he would.
Oh, yeah. Or waffles. It goes awesome on a Belgian waffle. Yeah, so you'll get a certain like butterscotchy or nutty or caramel flavor to it, and then obviously you'll get that deep sweetness, that very sugary, but smooth texture at the same time.
Yeah.
It's almost like buttery in your mouth.
I'm almost picking up a hint of like a zest as well.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Good call.
Yeah, like a lemon zest,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an orange zest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a little bit of citrusy flair to it. Yeah.
That's good.
Sauternes, there you go. One of the most classic pairings of all time is Sauterne and foie gras. And if you haven't had it together, it's phenomenal. You can't do it in California unless you know the right people, but if you do get a chance, Sauterne and foie
Sauternes
gras.
and foie gras.
It's one of the sort of classic of all time pairings of wine and
nice.
food.
Okay.
So that's
Awesome.
Sauternes.
Oh,
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing up for Wine School. Today we're going out with Sanchez. Dick, enjoy. Cheers, guys.
All right. Enjoy Dick.
Can't wait to enjoy some dick. I'm glad we had all men for that.